Right, afternoon all. Working on the back axle again. I've painted the U-bolts and the saddle plates, and we'll probably pop them on a little bit later on. There's a lot of work on the diff casing that I want to get on with this morning. One is to make a gasket, and another one is to install a level bung. Because if you remember, sealed off the reservoir on the bottom of the axle because they're notorious for leaking. We don't need the extra reservoir because we're not going to be pulling, 32 tons, so we're not going to need that extra oil. So we're really reverting the axle back to like an S39 setup. But there are no level bungs in that main case. They've all been sealed up by the factory. So I'm going to drill the axle, put a thread in and install this one to allow us to top the axle and everything. And I'm obviously going to drain it through the bung that I made the change on. So yeah, let's crack on. Good show. Is that this axle casing is not flat and it's not level, and therefore we can't tighten the bung against the casing. So I'm either going to have to get a tube or an elbow arrangement to go into the casing, or I'm going to have to build up the casing with weld. Either way, it's something I'm going to revisit later. Right, I'm going to get these U-bolts on next and fasten the axle to the springs, and that will obviously make it safer. I don't want to put the diff in yet, because if I put the diff in and something goes wrong and it topples, there's nothing holding it and we're going to do some damage. So let's get the U-bolts on and get it fastened down. I've cleaned all the threads up, borrowed a die nut some time ago to do that. Good one we're keeping that really, but anyway. So, let's see how we go. They're okay. Gonna get some copper slip to slow them up around them. I favour a mix of copper slip and graphite grease, and I find that the graphite grease stops the copper slip hardening off, and it just lasts that bit longer. Obviously I'd like to think we never have these off again, but you never know. That's seated nice, so it's gone into the pip okay on the bottom of the spring. Right, they're pinching up really nice now. I think everything looks like it's seating okay. These will probably be an ongoing tightening up process for the next few weeks, to be honest, because we can't swing it about too much because we risk pulling it off the A-frame and everything. And as everything settles and we get to wheels on and things like that, I'm sure we're going to get some movement, but that looks nice and central. Yeah, I'm reasonably pleased with that. Right, well on this side, we're not in the pip. The springer's too far this way. I don't know whether you can see we've got these grooves here, these cutouts where the U-bolts go. And the axle not lined up on the pip. And it looks like the axle is too far that way, or the springer's too far this way. Either way, I've got to get a ratchet strap round the spring and pull it that way and see if we can land this spring in the pip on the axle, which will get us flush. We can put the U-bolts in then. Now that's pulled it across. That's done it. Do you see it just drop then? Just that little tug just to drop it in. Perfect. Right, let's get some U-bolts on. Beautiful, they've gone up really nice. That's all sat in there nice and neat. So, not worried about the axle going anywhere now when we come to put the diff in. Right, well we've made some good progress there, so I'm going to take this strap off here and then get this finished. I've got all the studs in this apart from these two, and the reason for that is one of them was knackered and I needed the other as a pattern. So let's get them done. Right, I've copper slipped these up, as you can imagine. This thread in the axle casing is 5/8 UNC. But the thread for the nut is 5/8 UNF, so we're going to use a 5/8 UNF collet on it. Right, that's the stud that I made, so that's gone in nice. We don't want to overdo them, obviously. Again, we've not over tightened it. Not trying to pull it out, now it's turning, you see, so I don't want it to strip the threads, so I've not over tightened it. I don't want it to bind up in the axle case. There we go, they don't look bad, do they then? Right, so we're going to clean up in here. I'm going to go get the hoover out in here. We've had a blow around with the airline earlier on. So I think we should be alright just to give it a quick hoover out and job done, to be honest. Give that a quick wipe round. Got a stubborn bit there. Right, that should be close enough. So what we're going to do next now is drop the diff in for a test fitting before I put the gasket on. I'm going to use a jointing cement on the gasket, and I don't want to put it all in and then find we've got a problem and then ruin it all. So we're going to do a test fit. Good show. Right, now then, we've got his U-bolts fastened up, we've got his axle case clean, we've got the stud fitted, the one that we had to make. So we're ready now to put the diff in for the test fit. Now if I'm honest, I think I've probably underestimated the weight of the diff, because I was thinking of swinging it over the top, and having had it on the crane, yeah, it's a bit heavier than I thought. But anyway, I've had a slight change of plan and it could get really exciting this. So we're going to put the diff here behind the axle, and I'm going to try and lift it this side and then go over, rather than get it this high up and go over this frame and then drop it in. So obviously we won't be lifting it as far, who knows. So next part of the job is to wheel the diff in and let's see if we can lift it and take the frame off. Test fit it and we know where we're up to. Good enough. Now as you can see here, this is the front of the diff, this is the back. The reason I've put it in this orientation is it's shorter in this orientation, front to back, than it is in that orientation. So I think that should give me enough room to lift it and then turn it and bring it forward. That's the theory, so let's have a go. As I've said, there's a good chance this could get really exciting really quickly. Right, already we've hit a problem, we're too far to the near side. Right, I'm going to get the frame off now. I'm confident enough to get the frame off. Lovely. That's worked out well. That doesn't look bad at that. Let's try him in. Okay, so he sat on the studs. Looks like it just wants to come back a piece, that. That shouldn't be so bad at that. Let's see what it gives us. Oh no! Oh. And this is why you do a test fit. Got two of the studs at the back in blind holes. I've got my stud holes mixed up and I've miscounted. And I've got two studs in blind holes. Oh man, that'll stop it going down. Right, okay, let's lift it up. Twatted my nose. Oh, didn't think I was going to get that injury. Keep the spanner down, chaps. Oh no. Just taking out the right one. Oh, for f***ing sake. Right, here we go, let's see if we can get it in. This is the pre-attempt on the pre-attempt, isn't it, in a way, because we've already done those studs. Right, here we go. Just need to get that hook round. Not bad at that, is it? See if I can get him creeping down. Let's go in, that is. Just need a bit more slack on it. Yeah, it's a bit low this side. Change the tight, see if we can just drop him a bit quicker, get the weight off, and then a quick boogie over and it should drop that. And that's done a bit of good this side. I suppose the other thing that we're doing is just scraping these studs. Are all going to be a little bit out, I suppose, so I suppose we're scraping the inside of the holes for the diff housing. This is one of the reasons why I didn't want to paint the diff, because of getting, you know, it very tight to put on, but you know, it's getting there. This is pretty much what I expected, which is why we're doing a test fit. Look at that. You sexy thing. That's dropped on lovely, that. So I've probably just cleaned all the dirt out of the holes or something there. Just taking a bit of the sharp edges off. And that is mighty pretty. Right, all I've got to do now is lift it out and do it again with a gasket in. Lovely. Beauty. Lovely. Not as stressful as it could have been, that. We'll give that another hoover out before final fit as well. But I think we're in really good shape overall here. There's nothing concerning me too much. That's gone down really nice onto that hematite. That's just right, that. Right, great. Quick hoover now, and then let's get the diff in. Let's get the quick hoover first. Great. Right, let's go for it. Let's get this diff in. I gave the diff a rub with the wheel of death on the gasket surface off camera, so I'm really confident here that we shouldn't have many problems. Just got to get it in. Don't look bad at that. Just lifting it to give me a little bit more time on the slow descent. Right, well, I'm going to get this crane out of the way now, get it unbolted off the front of the prop shaft flange, and and then I need a bit of a tidy up, to be honest. I've got stuff everywhere, so I'm going to have a tidy up and a brew, get this bolted down, and then we'll see what's next. Been alright, that, isn't it?